So now that we know why we should invest some time in Twitter, how Twitter works, what not to do maybe on Twitter to increase your Twitter followers, what we're getting into now is the 10 ways to increase your Twitter followers. And just as a credit, this list was inspired by this 2009 article. And just as a little side note, that's a great way to create content, to find a list article that's already been successful and update it and add more information to it. So that's kind of what I've done here. And maybe this is kind of a good example of how to create content quickly as well. So we're going to look now into the first point. This is the first way that you can really increase your Twitter followers, potentially the most powerful way as well, and that's getting more retweets. So we looked in Twitter and I explained what a retweet was. I gave you an example of a post that I have retweeted here. Jenny mentioned me in a tweet, and then I click this button here to retweet it. And essentially what that does is share that same post with all of my followers. So what you want to do is to really encourage your followers to retweet your posts. Retweeting is what pushes your username into foreign social graphs. So what I mean by that is when I retweeted Jenny's post, I exposed her to all of my audience. And so essentially you want your followers to retweet you and other influencers to retweet you, so you're getting exposed to all of their audience. Essentially the retweet is the same as the Facebook share. That is the holy grail on these social networks because that pushes you into their social network, which results in a much more exposure and clicks back to your profile. So this is the #1 way to get more Twitter followers, is to get more retweets. That shows that your content is valuable and also pushes you into other people's social graphs. So what I've done here is I've listed out 4 ways to get more retweets. Seeing as so this is such a great way to increase your Twitter followers, let's look at these 4 ways. So the first thing is to really share original content. Everybody loves to be the first to retweet new stuff. And this is a key thing here. People, it's not really about you, it's about them. So people want to look good. If they're the first ones that retweet some new stuff, that makes them look good because they're kind of the first person in there finding out the new stuff and sharing it with their audience. So that helps them look good. So by sharing original content, you can make other people look good because it helps them share that with their audience. It brings them new information. You can do that by also reacting to breaking news, commenting on it. Creating original content will automatically increase your chances of being retweeted. So that's a key thing you want to do. Think about how can you get retweeted? How can you make other people look good? By giving them new information, by commenting on breaking news, etc. So the second way that you can get more retweets is to include a picture. Tweets with images generate 150 more retweets than text only tweets. So the information is there to back up this point if you want to read further on that. But essentially when you are creating a tweet, what you can do is add in a photo here. And what this study said is instead of just leaving it as a text only post, you can actually upload an image as well. That, as you can see, that gives it a lot more visibility in the news stream here. That extra visibility will just help grab attention. You can see the text, it doesn't grab as much attention as say an image here, and those images has been proven to generate 150% more retweets. So that's something you definitely want to do. You want to upload it directly to Twitter so it's instantly visible in the timeline. So all of these images here have been uploaded directly to Twitter. It doesn't need an extra click to maybe go see the image on Instagram, etc., another third-party tool. So that's the second way. Always include a picture. Third way that you can increase your retweets is really just to ask. People often need a call to action. You can simply ask for a retweet, and that's been proven to generate 3 to 4 times the amount of engagement. So what you can do is simply put just please retweet at the start or the end of your tweet. So when you're making your tweet, You can just simply type that in, something like that. You can put it at the end of the tweet. You could also maybe, you could send that out there, or you could also send a direct message to maybe some of the people that you're kind of friendly with, personal friends with, and you can say, hey, I've just sent out my latest tweet. I would love if you could retweet it to help it get more exposure. And that is another way. This is, if you remember, the direct message is kind of the private way to send a message. Nobody can see this except you and the other person. And so if you have some friends on Twitter as well, you can ask them to retweet it, and that can help you get more exposure. The final thing that you can do is really thank people for retweeting. You let them know that you are aware and appreciate via the @replies. And essentially, we already saw an example of this. I have thanked Jenny here for sharing my content. I've retweeted it, not her, but essentially it's the same process that you would do. If somebody retweets you, you can thank them, just a simple message there. Maybe check out their profile. You can come in and you know, maybe like some of their posts, like what they've done, retweet one of their posts in reciprocation, and that will help you build a relationship with them and reciprocate the retweet. So remember, the key thing is to not just share things about yourself. You want to share things that people will retweet. People will retweet things that make them look good, like this post here that Jenny shared. This makes me look good. Somebody is sharing my content, or you know, you are sharing new content, or you're giving someone new information that they can share then with their audience. So that's a key thing to keep in mind. Retweets are a fantastic way to push your username into foreign social grass, the equivalent of the Facebook share, and it is the fastest way to really increase your exposure on Twitter, and more exposure with more good content will mean more followers. So that is the first point. In the next lecture now, we're actually going to start getting into Twitter. You're going to optimize your profile, set up a profile if you've never set up one before. And this is another way to really increase your Twitter followers. Filling this out is important to give people an indication, an idea about who you are, what you are, and the value that you can add to them. So I'll see you in the next lecture where you're going to learn how to optimize your profile in 5 steps. I'll see you there.